So it's a wonderful spring day, although it's only the 17th of December, and as you can see, this is the Don de Crol behind, and we're going to head up through a little crack there and see if we can find any snow at some altitude, see what it's like on the west faces, because there's nothing here. So I said I'll give you a bit of an update on the conditions. It's a week since the last video, and first thing to note, we've had to climb on a south facing slope up to 2,100 meters to find snow. But if you look down behind me, you can see there's snow down there, down to about 1,600, 1,500 meters. And turning around, and we look back, and over here we can see part of the Grand Rousse in the distance. Up there, and also the set low slopes. Well, the slopes at Praputel are not skiable, they're at 1350, there's not enough snow. But they've got Pipe just to the left, they've got artificial snow, so that means those slopes will be open this weekend, or they're only open at weekends and on Wednesdays at the moment, because there really isn't a great deal of snow. It's not worth opening up for the whole week. We'll see next week when they stay open for the whole of the Christmas week, but I don't have the information at the moment. And if we look around behind, we see the Chartreuse. These summits are all about 2,000 meters, is as dry as a bone really on the east and south facing slopes. It's not good at all. And looking down into the valley, typical winter anticyclonic conditions. It's very warm up here. See, I've just got a fleece on, and it's the 17th of December. And down there we see the Grenoble with the smog trapped in the valley by a temperature inversion. It's down to below freezing in the valleys, and it's staying up around about 10 degrees at this altitude, 8-10 degrees. So you can't even use snow cannons at that temperature. And I've heard that in some resorts they're actually making snow in the valleys, loading it into trucks and taking it up the hill. Also some other things, also seen up in the Aravis, the pista up on top of the mountains, shoveling snow out of couloirs where it's collected with the wind, and transporting that down on the piste just to patch up holes where necessary. We look over behind us here, we've got Mont Blanc, and just to the right here we've got Alvar, and again the lower piste, 1450 meters. There's kind of southwesterly, westerly facing piste. There's no snow on it. You've got to go to 1650, and then even then there's only limited opening. I'm going to take a look down here. One thing to note, the snow here in the shade is very, very hard. There was a death yesterday at Meribel of an English skier, 17-year-old skier, lost control and hit some netting, and then broke his neck hitting when his head hit the piste. Can't have been helped by the icy and snow, icy hard conditions, and also somebody who's broken somebody who broke their arm on the first or second day of skiing on a rock just off to the edge of the piste or on the piste. So it's got to be very careful on piste as well. It's not really transforming. Despite the warm temperatures, the snow cools down a lot at night with the cold air, and doesn't really transform that much, except where it gets a lot of sun in the afternoon. So if you're wondering what the snow conditions are like, we've come down to this little northwest facing slope, so it should be a good idea of what things are like on north sector slopes. It's very shaded, but it doesn't see any sun at all here, and we can see there's about 30 centimeters depth here. That's basically the snow that fell in the mid to late November, and you can see it's turning into facets, probably with the temperature inversion from the ground. It's still, despite the warm air temperatures, you can radiate a lot of heat and have very cold temperatures at the very surface. And there's a crust, fairly solid crust there of about, let's say, 5 centimeters, and then there's this unconsolidated snow. Now, the unconsolidated snow is below the crust, so the crust will act as a stabilizing factor. You may then get a weak layer on top of this crust. You can see this is the bit of fresh snow that fell the other day, a couple of centimetres, and the crust there, 5 centimetres, and unconsolidated facets underneath sugar snow here. And this should stabilise, but if the conditions continue like this for another month, this crust will get eaten out. This will all get transformed into facets, and we'll just have a layer of facets. So maybe in another couple of weeks, if we come up here, we'll see this is turned into a powder field. At the moment you can see on top of this, because this provides a super base with just a little bit of snow on top, so it's actually not too bad despite the lack of snow depth. You're not going to go punch down to any rocks on this, so it shouldn't be too bad. I mean, it's not fantastic to ski on, okay for snowshoeing. Again, it's very hard, you've got to watch out where there isn't any snow on the surface where it's been scoured by the wind, for if you're on any kind of angle for falls. So it's quite slippy. I managed to fall a little bit further up here on my shoes. Okay.